Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, if I get started, I'm gonna give all honor and glory and power to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, HaKodash. I want to say double honors to our elders, our great apostles, great millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, being great example to Israel. All right, my dear elect, I want to say peace and blessings to the hopefully elect on the four corner, pushing the truth and sincerity. All right, the great song that you brought in the bar. I just come with a little quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And basically, you can see on the screen, it said Trump could become more dangerous, all right, as public anger soars historically. All right, because we understand, all right, according to prophecy, as we know, Trump is in the forefront, all right, doing the bidding of the elites, all right, to bring the trouble and the hell, all right, on the earth. As we just read, Trump could become more dangerous. All right, and how he's going to become more dangerous by his unrighteous laws and decrees. All right, as we seeing, all right, the order come through the chaos that they causing throughout the whole earth, man. All right, and I want to get down to this because you're going to hear right here what the woman said about Trump. All right, and it's very important. Check this out right here.
Dr. Ruth Ben-Ghiat, a history professor at New York University, author of the 2020 book, Strongman, Mussolini to the Present, and a frequent guest on MS Now, is known for her expertise on the history of fascism and authoritarianism. And she isn't shy about comparing President Donald Trump to authoritarian figures of the past.
Right, you see, the authoritarian figure of the past is speaking about, all right, Nero Caesar. All right, now check this out right here. Read this and then we're going to jump. This is it. Yep. Yeah, see, check this out. Here it is out right here.
The scholar-author continues, I have seen this brand of strongman megalomania and the adverse effects it can ultimately have on leaders and their governments. I call it autocratic backfire. Authoritarian-minded leaders present themselves as bold innovators with unerring instincts about how to lead their countries to greatness. Their personality cults proclaim their infallibility while propaganda machines suppress news of their failures and exaggerate their influence and competency. Authoritarians, Ben-Ghiat notes, often cut themselves off from expert advice when they surround themselves with loyalists who repeat their lies, an approach that can lead to autocratic backfire, which, she says, happened with Benito Mussolini, aka Il Duce, in Italy during World War II.
Now here it is. All right, to go back to the point. All right, with Trump, you know, President Trump could be an authoritarian figure of the past. And I want to grab this, all right, speaking about Nero. All right, now check this out. Yep.
Nero's practical contributions to Rome's governance focused on diplomacy, trade, and culture. He ordered the construction of amphitheaters, and promoted athletic games and contests. He made public appearances as an actor, poet, musician, and charioteer, which scandalized his aristocratic contemporaries as these occupations were usually the domain of slaves, public entertainers, and infamous persons. However, the provision of such entertainments made Nero popular among lower-class citizens. The costs involved were borne by local elites either directly or through taxation, and were much resented by the Roman aristocracy.
You see? And it's the same thing with Trump. Because look at right here. I typed in, you know, the movies Trump played in, right? Donald Trump played in Heroin, all right, 54, all right, Heart to Heart, and Little Rascal. All right? Now check this out right here. This is very interesting because this is the the mindset he working in now, as in Nero Caesar. So I went on ChatGPT, and we know Trump made plenty appearances dealing with the rappers, because who is in the forefront of his speaking now? Nicki Minaj, right? So let's go to the comparison. It said what does Trump and Nero Caesar have in common? It said people usually compare Donald Trump and Nero Caesar symbolically, not because they are the same kind or leaders or live in similar systems, right? Because this is what, Rome 2.0, all right? It says, here's what actually behind the comparison, and it said where it break down. What people say they have in common, the parable. It says strong force on personal image. It said Nero wanted to be admired as an artist performing a larger than life ruler. All right. It says Trump. It said place heavy phrasing on branding, loyalty, and public perception. In both cases, all right, critics argue ego and image matter, a lot of them. Right. It said Nero loved by some Romans and despised by others, especially elites, and that's what you have dealing with Trump. All right. And it said Trump is deeply popularized, strongly loyalty for supporters, intense opposition from critics. Neither was middle of the road. Now check this out. It said Nero weakened Rome institution and rule more personally over time. Trump is often accused of attacking and distrusting institution like the press, court, or bureaucracy, right? Supporters see this as fighting corruption. Critics see it as what destabilizing norm. All right. Nero famously blamed Christians for the Great Fire of Rome. Trump often blamed political opponents, immigrants, and the deep state for national problems. This is the classic political tactic across history. Exactly. All right. But guess what? He in the spirit of what, Nero Caesar. All right. Different time, same scenario. All right. It said Nero was an absolute ruler, right? Trump was a constitutionally limited president, checked by courts, Congress, and what, election. But what he just say right here? Let's go back to this. What Trump say? He says, "My own mind." Let's hear it out again. Let's hear what he said.
My own morality. My own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me.
You see? All right. So yeah, Trump is Nero coming back in the reincarnation. And things finna get tight, all right, for the household of faith. This is why I got to continue to pray, continue to watch, and continue to figure out about Shema Shai and not man. Shalom, Hababa Bob, Baraka Akim. May the Lord team bless your day.